Hey there, Rivermen fans. I'm Jason Ruff, joined once again by Rivermen head coach John Trudel. It's time for another Trudel's Take, brought to you by Health Alliance. Well, Guy, coming off an impressive 3-in-3 weekend, a couple of really good wins. But before we get on to those, I want to ask you a quick question. Who do you think has been the most improved player on this team?
Oh, that's a good one to start right now, right through the fire. I think there's a lot of guys, and it's improvement comes in different ways, and I think a lot of guys got in better shape. I think being off with COVID year, a lot of guys haven't played in 2 years. So it was tough at the beginning of the year. Improvement-wise, I think a lot of guys are putting in a lot of work. So it's tough, but for me, I think Mitch came a long way from 2 years ago to now. He's a guy that I use first PK, first power play, last minute, first minute, anything, physicality. He brings pretty much everything because he's really a student of the game. And for me, Mitch is all about his habits. He doesn't cheat the game. He doesn't cheat the habit. No matter if a practice is as boring as just working on the F1, making sure you don't get beat, he's not going to get beat. So he does everything right, and I think that's why he's getting better and better.
You know, it's fascinating that you mentioned Mitch McPherson because I agree with you, especially in the last couple of weeks. He's really come on, really, I think, embrace the role that you've identified for him, really being not only a player that can score goals but also be responsible defensively, which I'm sure you'd like all your forwards to be like that.
I do. Unfortunately, it comes quicker to others, and I think it comes with your mindset. I think Mitch comes to everyday practice thinking he's going to get better in every situation. And for me, a guy that does all, as any coach I think is going to tell you, a guy that does all the little things, from tipping pucks to blocking every shot he can, to being physical, to finishing every check, to driving the net, driving lanes. He's like that type of player. Does he have the skill that maybe a Hagman has or Bear? No, but he understands himself. I think they always say the best thing about leadership is starting to understand yourself. Once you understand yourself, you become a way better leader, and Mitch is at that point in his life.
Speaking of Alec Hagman, a 9-point weekend for him in 3 games, in my opinion, deserving of SPHL Player of the Week. But when you have a player like Hagman having that much kind of success, what does that do for the guys around him and the guys playing with him?
Well, I think it's big. We have, like I always say, the core group that has been here for years. It's absolutely key to everything we do. If I don't have those guys, it's a completely different mentality, structure, culture. Everything's got to be built in a certain way, and those guys have been here and they know how we like to do things, and it's every day here in PR. I always say you have a chance when you wake up. There's 3 things that can happen. Either you get better, you stay the same, or you get worse, and we have the culture that we want to get better every single day, and Hags is a big part of that. No matter what we do, even if it's a simple drill as the Wisco rotation, he just goes all out. His passes are hard. He skates all out. His habits are great. He shoulder checks. He does all the things that you would want a captain to do. And to be honest with you, I told Hags after the 3rd game, I didn't even know he had 5 points. I just expected from Hags. He's always good, So it's like, oh, when I looked at the stats after, I was like, ooh, it was 5-point good. I didn't even know he was that good. So I'm like, it's just Hags is the way he plays, and the great thing about Hags, he honestly wants to get better every year. He doesn't think, and I don't think he's I don't think he does everything perfect yet. I think he's got a lot more in the tank, and he just works towards being the that player that everybody looks up to.
Let's take a look at that weekend as a whole. Starting on that Friday night, emphatic victory for the Rivermen. You come back on Saturday, a little bit of a closer contest, but you're able to come up with 2 key victories against the Vermilion County Bobcats, games that arguably you should win, especially at home. Then you come up against Quad City, a team that's had a day of rest, a team that's at full strength, whereas the Rivermen coming on short rest. It's their 3rd game in 3 nights, as we talked about, and they're also missing some bodies. What was the message to that team going into that type of game when a lot of fatigue is going to be a factor?
Well, we talked about playoff mentality when, we're not going to be able to tell the league when we want our 3rd playoff game if we have to go to 3. And you play if you're tired, you play if you're sore. You're going to have injuries in the playoffs. So for us, when Quad City wanted to come here, they were rested. But at the same time, Quad City's a little bit like us that day. They're missing a lot of guys that are called up. I think it's around the league. Us, it's more guys that are injured here in Peoria. For them, I know they have 3-4 bodies they'd love to have back from call-ups. and it's just the way it is. You just can't make excuses. You just got to go out and play your best hockey. And we had a third line with Browse that hasn't played a lot this year, and then we had Wisely that just got signed, and Kluch that was sick the week before. So what the boys brought that game, win or lose that game, I was really happy mostly for our repetition. We had great reps in a tough environment where you can make an excuse for being tired or missing 4 or 5 important guys, but we did not. We just kept working and did the right things. And even a guy like Barry that's up, it would have been nice to have a break for Levy, but Levy never complained. He gave up 2 bad goals to start, but he just kept pushing. And I thought in the third period he played just phenomenal. So that just shows you the type of character we have in our locker room.
Just the way that game transpired. You get down 2-0 in the first period, had a goal called back once again. Seems like it's going to be common practice for the Rivermen this year almost. But either way, you go into the first intermission down, manage to tie it up, enter the third period tied, a place that neither you nor Quad City has been in terms of that situation most of the year. And then you just totally take control of the third period. Is that the type of win under those circumstances that can really galvanize a team and push them forward to great things?
Yeah, I think it was a fun win that way because I remember on the bench, even when we made, we gave up, not the type of goals that Levy usually gives up. And I was even getting a little upset at it. And I remember the leadership, Hags and those guys, we're fine because even though those goals went in or we got a goal, called back again, we on the bench it was calm because I felt like we were playing good hockey. In the first period we gave 6 shots and really probably only 1. They scored 2, but we only really gave 1 scoring chance. We didn't really give that much. The boys were playing well, and I always say the eyes. To me, you pass an eye test by me seeing you on the ice, your body language, your eyes on the bench, and the boys were pumped to play that game. They were excited to have a chance to to get better that day, and we got some great reps. And the third period, it seemed like it was a 3-3 games when we started, but we felt confident. We felt like we had the game. We were playing well. We weren't giving anything 5-on-5, and it just kept going. And we got lucky. We got a few power plays, and our power plays have been on fire. So we kind of did what we had to do on the power play, and then took over the game and finished it out like we wanted.
I think power play being on fire is a little bit of an understatement there, Guy. In the month of January alone, granted just 7 games, but in those 7 games, your power play has been operating at an over 40% clip. It's the #1 power play unit in the entire Southern Professional Hockey League. We've talked ad nauseum about guys getting good reps, guys getting familiar with each other, but when you're having that much confidence on a power play, does it just open up the floodgates, just have fun?
It does, and it also, I think it puts a lot of teams on their heels. You play different when you can't play aggressive, because if you play aggressive from us, we're going to get power plays, we're going to make you pay. So that's why people don't talk about the importance of all those things. Hockey is more than just pushing a puck around. There's a lot of momentum that goes with it. And for us right now, our power play is really hot, so other teams are afraid of taking penalties, so maybe they're a little less aggressive on everything they do 5-on-5 to make sure we don't get those opportunities. And when we do, I think I can count maybe 2 or 3 power plays in the last 8 or 9 games that we lost momentum. Everything else, even if we score or not, we're gaining momentum because we're moving the puck extremely well. We're getting our chances. And those talented players, power plays are key in that way. When you have a few of them, you feel good with the puck. Once you feel good with the puck, it translates into 5-on-5 that you jump on the ice with confidence because you touch the puck a lot on the power play, you move the puck. So it's just a momentum thing, the power play. And for us, we knew we had the talent. Now in the last, I'd say, month and a half, 2 months, the guys have been sticking together. We have set power play. So they have, we have all kinds of set plays. Doesn't always work, but it's fun to watch them grow as a group, that's for sure.
Meanwhile, Eric Levine just continues to be the workhorse in between the pipes. I know you never worry about his conditioning and all, but how do you think he handles the mental fatigue of constantly going in and night out? And do you think the gymnastics and the yoga that he does really helps him out?
I don't think he gets mental fatigue. I won't lie to you. If it would be Eric Levine of 6-7 years ago when I had him young, I could tell you would have been really tired mentally, physically. Eric right now is in such a good place mentally, physically with himself, understanding who he is as a human, that nothing phases him, giving bad goals, playing 3-3. He's just happy. And the thing about Eric, he's such a humble human being. Oh, yeah. That's the worst part is I'm putting him 3 in 2.5 days, really, and he's thanking me for having enough confidence to put him all 3 games. That's just the type of human he is. He wants every game, and he's very humble in everything he does. So for me, when you have humility, you become a way better athlete, a way better leader. And for him, just saying that after the game kind of made me realize what good of a man he is.
Now, this team has won 5 of its last 7 games. You ended 2021 on a hot streak, though with one minor hiccup at the very end there. Now it seems like you're starting 2022 on a similar pace. How do you guard against complacency in that locker room, especially with a lot of new guys?
Well, that's our job. That's my job as a coach. We talk about it today. I wasn't thrilled with the way we practiced today, and we had to pay a little bit of a price because of it, because in Peoria we don't have bad days. We come to the rink with a big smile, and we come to the rink with the expectation of getting it better every single day. So it's, you just find the right people, and they understand the plan that you're going with, and it's really, at the end of the day, their plan. Mm-hmm. You just make them believe that it's their plan, and it will be. And right now, even today, I'm always honest with my players, and we talked about it, and they were not happy with their performance, so they understood that they had to pay a price for it, and that's just the way we do it in Peoria. There's no hard feelings. I love my guys to death, but we expect every single day to get better. And I don't care if we lose, win, I don't care. As long as we get better, we get great reps, and we've had that mentality all year. We're going to keep going with it, and we have it on the door, man. When you know, good people make great Rivermen. That's the reason why, because you can get mad, you can make them pay a price, but they come back with a big smile and they want more. So that's what we're looking at tomorrow. We're going to have a great day tomorrow.
Well, this weekend, or rather this Friday, I should probably say, the Rivermen host the Quad City Storm for a single matchup on Friday. You have a weekend off before constant bombardment of 3-3s in your schedule into the latter part of January and early February. Of course, Friday night, IBW night, free Rivermen IBW t-shirt to the first 1,000 fans in the doors at Carver Arena. Guy, when you're facing against Quad City, they've had time to just sit on that loss or that shelling that you handed them in the third period. You know they're going to come out angry on Friday night. How do you mentally prepare not only yourself as a coaching staff, but also the players to deal with that incredible push? Because Quad City, they love to get out to a lead in the first period.
Yeah, and we know that. For us, it's just about, we want them to be mad. We want them to take bad penalties. We're just going to play an even kill in the first period. We want to get great reps. Second and third, the same thing. So at the end of the game, we just want to keep going. We want to keep getting better. And like I said, we were lucky right now. Our personnel, we have enough to make, except for last game, but usually we have enough players to make it a full roster. And we also understand that we're lucky that we were missing 4 really important players last, and whoever jumped in the lineup did their job. So next man up kind of mentality. And I know we have a few sick guys right now, so if they're out, we're going to have other guys jump in and play well and get great reps. So we're not really worried about Quad City or any other team. We just want to, as a hockey team, keep getting better. And of course, you always look at the stats. Oh, man, we're going up in the standings. But this year we had a plan. We wanted to make the playoffs and just be really, really good when the playoffs start, and that's going to be our mentality.
Look forward to seeing it, Geet. Thanks so much for your time. We'll talk to you again on Friday night.
Always a pleasure, Ruffer.
This has been Jason Ruff with Rivermen head coach Jean-Guy Trudel for this week's edition of Trudel's Take, brought to you by Health Alliance. Thanks for joining us, Rivermen fans. We'll talk to you again next week.